Well, good morning. Good morning to everyone who's not here, who will be taking this later as well. We got a lot of good moves today, a lot of hip openers, and a lot of stretching and twisting and bending and stuff today. So definitely going to be a good mobility class. The only thing you're going to need today is a chair or something to like hold on to, whether it's like an ottoman or a stool or something. We're going to need some kind of something to hold on to next to you here. And then I believe that's the only, I believe that's the only outside piece that we need. So let's go ahead and start just using our breath like we normally do. So we're going to kneel on the ground like this here. And if that's challenging for you, you can tuck your toes underneath like this, which we found out last class is a lot easier on the knees, or you can stay up in the full kneeling position if this is challenging. So you're just gonna kind of roll your shoulders a little bit and just let your whole body relax. I'm gonna take 5 deep breaths. And so when you breathe in, you wanna fill up all of the lung space that you have here. So get really wide through here. And then as you exhale, just kind of feel all the tension from your neck just kind of dropping down away from you. So we breathe in, expand the rib cage, and oh my God. Let's keep doing that. Keep breathing. I'm gonna put him out of the room. Keep breathing. Get out of here. Okay. So we'll do 2 more breaths. So breathe in. You get a lot of tension. You feel a lot of internal pressure through here. And then as you exhale, everything drops away from the shoulders. 1 more. Really puff out your chest. And then we exhale. Okay. So the first move we're going to do is called the world's greatest stretch, which is a move that we have done before. We're going to go through it again. So we're going to start from a standing position. So go ahead and stand up. I'm going to run you through this here. Okay, so we're going to grab our left knee. So you're going to grab your left knee and pull it up high. Okay, try to find your balance through here. So we'll count to 3. And then we're going to take a big step forward and come into this high lunge position here. So your right hand's going to be on the floor next to your left foot. And so we're going to take a big inhale. Bring your left elbow inside your left knee. And on the exhale, we're going to drive this elbow down towards the heel. So your back leg should be locked out and your front foot should be flat on the floor with that knee falling out to the side as long as your foot is flat. Okay, now we're going to twist up. So pull that left arm up and we're going to totally rotate 180 degrees right here. 1 big breath here. Okay, and then as you come back down, that's going to go on the outside of that left foot. And then you're going to lean your hips back and see if you can straighten that front leg. So we got a nice little hamstring stretch here. And if you can't straighten that front leg, totally fine. I'm sure you're going to feel the stretch no matter what. Okay, and then you're going to slowly take a step forward, come out of that. I'm going to go back to my starting position, and we're going to do one on the other side as well. So I'm going to pull that right leg up. Find your balance. Give it about 3 seconds. Okay, monster step forward. Now left hand goes on the floor. Right elbow is going on the inside of the right leg. You're going to breathe in deep. On the exhale, driving that elbow down towards the floor. Okay, and inhale your way up. Pull that right arm up. You go right up into a twist. So you want to keep that down arm locked out so you have something to rotate off of. Okay, now that's going to go down on the outside of the right leg. Big breath in. On the exhale, get up on your fingertips and rock that leg backwards. All right, good. We'll go ahead and step forward. All right, next one is called up and over. So we're going to be on an all fours position here. Find some little object in the room. Doesn't matter what it is, what size it is, something small. You're going to put it out. I'm just going to use this book, for example. It's just a visual cue. You're going to stick it out to the side of you, about an arm's length away from you, right outside of you. So we're going to get into a quadruped position like this, and that object is going to be straight out to the side of your hips here. All right, so we're going to start. I'm going to start with my right leg. I'm going to lock this leg out. So it's out to the side and it's out straight. So it's out like this. All right. And now the goal of this is we're trying to keep the arms locked, keep the core nice and tight. All right. And we're trying to lift this leg up and over your little object and touch down behind it. And then we're going to try to lift up and come forward through it here. Now, what the body wants to do a lot is when this leg lifts up, is to kind of come out here, but really resist that. Keep this arm strong. All right. Keep your core strong and really use your glutes to lift that leg up. And it's coming back behind the object. Very good. And then lift that straight up, come forward, rest it on the ground. There's 2. We're going to do 10. So lift it up and back, touch the ground. It's 3. And lift up, move back, and forward. There's 4. If you want to make this a little more challenging, you can increase your range of motion by trying to bring this foot farther upwards. The farther forwards you're going to get it, the harder it's going to be to control that. Okay, so play around with this and do whatever you feel like your body can. There's 6. Lift that up. There's 7. You should feel a lot in your core, a lot in your glutes. There's 8. There's 9. One more. And there's 10. Okay, so we're going to flip that to the other side. Shoot that over. No video, Jess?
What's up?
No video?
What do you mean?
You can't see me?
I can see you.
Oh, your screen is black.
I know. I'm blocked because I'm in and out of video.
Oh, I got you.
I'm around. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, are you just doing it off of verbal instructions or what's going on?
No. Probably like trying to find the best way to explain anything verbally. No, we can.
Yeah.
We'll do the playbacks.
Some sensory deprivation right there.
It's all
All right, so we'll start on the left side. You're going to start with your foot in front of the object here. All right, and just kind of before you start, pay attention to where your body's oriented. Like, are you straight? Are you square? Do you have your hips level? Are your shoulders level? Look at your video. See if your body's leaning one way or the other. All right, so get yourself nice and ready. And then when you're ready, we're gonna lift up, back, touch the ground behind, and in front. There's 1, 2. And again, the farther, going back is pretty easy, but then it's coming forward that's harder to do. So the more you try to reach that foot towards the front of the room, the harder that's going to be. So that's how you're going to challenge yourself on this move, if that's a little easy. Back, forward, there's 5. Touch. Forward is 6. Up. Touch. And really keep that leg locked as well. 7. No bend in the knee. 8. Becomes easy that way. 9. 1 more. Lift up. Come back. Up and forward. There's 10. All right, good. All right, so we're gonna do kind of similar to an up-down dog, but we're gonna try to do it in more of a rolling wave motion. So I'll show you guys from the side. We'll get a couple reps in like this. So normally an up dog, down dog, we're gonna go from here, and we're gonna roll our way forward into this up dog here. But what I want to try to do is we're going to try to roll the body like this. And then we're going to try to roll the body back like this. So you're almost thinking about making like a kind of like a wave with your body up and down here. So instead of just like a pike to a pike, 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 think about doing more of a roll. So we're thinking about, in your mind, you're visualizing bending all of the vertebrae one by one. Okay, so almost like if you had, imagine you have a really long object that's connected by 30 links, okay, and you only have one end, and you're trying to get that object to stand upwards. As you lift it up like this, you're gonna see one by one by one by one, those links are gonna come and start to come up together like this. So that's what we want to try to do with our back during this move here. So as we go from here, we're gonna roll, tuck the chin, roll the shoulders, really get a nice arch in the back, and then coming up here to the opposite type of curve. And then we're going to start by tucking the chin, rolling the shoulders forward, and rolling the back up into that motion. All right, so let's go ahead and get a couple of these in. So we'll start in the normal push-up position. Let's go into a down dog. So you're back here. Heels are flat. You're reaching through the arms. So what you're going to do here is tuck the chin and see if you can lift the upper part of the back. And then you're going to roll yourself forward here. Come into this down dog position here. So you can flatten your feet. The tops of your feet are on the ground. And then to come back up, you're just going to flip your toes under, tuck the chin. And again, you're starting to roll the shoulders, roll the spine up one vertebrae at a time until it gets into this straight position right here. All right, so just try to follow along as best as you can. Rolling forwards. And then we're pushing back up. And so definitely play around with this move. Wiggle yourself in and out of those end ranges and make sure that you are in control of the motion that you're doing. breath in. And we're going to push back into that down dog. A couple more. So I want to start by tucking the hips, rolling the back, roll the shoulders, come forward in a wave-like motion until you're in full up dog. Really push the ground away from you, lift the body away from the floor. So we're going to start rolling backwards. We got one more. Tuck the hips, start rolling the back, roll the shoulders. Big breath in. And tuck the chin, roll the upper back. And roll into a down dog. Awesome. All right, go ahead and come down to a rest. Your spine needs to be moved in a lot of different ways in order to stay healthy. Okay, it's almost like, imagine like that it can just develop like, if there's not movement, there's not fluid, there's not blood, there's not oxygen to that area. It's very dry, arid, like desert environments, the things that don't move. So you want to make sure you're moving your spine in all different kinds of ways. So not only just, keeping your form nice and strict during your deadlifts and your squats and all that, but, that's definitely the right mindset to have in your movements. But in your practice like this, when it's just your body weight, feel free to get really, really loose with your positioning and start to follow the flow of your body. Don't really have to worry too much about form on that move that we just did, but really just kind of feel the flow of it and really start to feel life entering back into your spine, and that'll make you feel a lot more comfortable in your movement. All right, so next one we're going to be down here on the floor. So we're just sitting. We're basically going to move our body into like a reverse push-up position. So you're going to have your hands facing out to the side away from you. So your hands, they're right next to you, but your fingers are facing away from you. All right, so you're going to pull your shoulders back. Keep your heels down on the floor. And all we're going to do is pull your heels up, or like pull your heels to you, and you come up into this tabletop position right here. And then we're going to just come back down, sit on the floor, and then you're going to dig your heels into the floor, use those hamstrings, and it's going to pull you up into this tabletop position right here. And then sit back down, okay? So keep going with that. And to those who are taking this class, if you want a little more advanced version, we can do something called a pike here. And then we go into this tabletop position as high as you can. And then without letting your hips touch the floor, you're going to try to shoot your legs straight through the body. Yes. And then we're going to pull back up into this tabletop position. All right. If that's really challenging, we're just going to start doing them in this move here, just like that. All right. So key points on this move are, as you're pulling yourself up, you want to be turning your shoulders backwards. So your hands should be twisting outwards. And what that's going to do is put external rotation on the shoulders and feel like pulling your shoulders back. And that's definitely what we want to do. So we're going to do 10 of these. All right. So you're sitting down in your position. As I'm pulling up, I'm twisting my hands outward. But since my hands aren't moving, that's going to pull my shoulders back into this retracted position. So I'm not letting them come forward. I'm pulling them back, lifting and opening the chest. And then getting the hips as high as we can. So here's 1, and come down. Breathe in, exhale. 2, and come down. Exhale forward, that's 3. Inhale down. 4, inhale down. 5, inhale down. 6, inhale down. Really feel this. You might feel this in your elbows and your shoulders. That's quite all right. It's really important to have the right type of twist going on in the shoulders. We got 2 left. 9. Last one. And down. Awesome. All right. Okay, so this is where we're going to need our chair or our prop of some sort. So go ahead and grab your chair. Awesome. All right, so it's just going to go right in front of you. And again, it's just something for you to hold on to. I'm going to show you a couple different angles of this move, just to really give you a good idea of what we're trying to do. We're going to start in what's called a single leg RDL, which is a Romanian deadlift. So we're going to start in this position like this. Now, you can hold on to the bottom of the chair, top of the chair, doesn't matter. You could not even hold on at all, okay? It's up to you. But we're starting in this position, and what we're gonna do is learn how to use the rotation capability of the down leg, okay? So we're really gonna see if those glutes are working, and if you have the ability to stabilize your body on one side. Okay, so it's kind of a test for you guys. So once we're in this position, what we're gonna do here is rotate and open up the hips so that your body is facing the front of the room. And then we're going to close the hips here. All right, and so what you want is this foot that's back. The toes are pointing the floor here. As I open using this hip here, I'm squeezing the glutes. Now these top toes are facing the front of the room here. So that's what we want. And then we want to close back down here. All right, and so I'll show you from the back actually what it will look like. So if we're in this position here, it's twisting. So now my hips are stacked. I got one stacked on top of this one here. And then I'm going to use this down leg, use the glutes right here to control this descent down and control the ascent upwards here. And then rotate it back down here. All right, so we're going to start on our right leg. So everyone get by your chair. I'm going to start on the right leg. So the left leg's up in the air. All right, so just try to get your body oriented, all right? So make sure your center balance is right over top of the chair. You want your left feet facing the floor, your toes facing the floor, all right? Get that leg as high as you can. And then we're going to keep both your hands on the chair. You're going to twist the body open towards your left. So you're twisting towards the left. And then we're going to drop those hips down towards the floor. There's one there. And so you're really driving into the earth, lifting the body and rotating over that top leg. Keep that leg nice and straight. And then we're going to rotate it back down here. Now, again, if this is really, really challenging, go ahead and bend this here, okay? Or you can even kind of let this leg hang, okay? If it starts to get really tired. We can still do the move here without this back leg being straight, but if you can, I would love it for you to be here through the whole move. Okay, so we're gonna twist up, squeeze the glutes, and then twist back down. And what you should feel is kind of an odd sensation deep inside the hip capsule of the leg that you're rotating on. You'll definitely start to feel how your glutes work and how they rotate and turn on as you're rotating. So as I'm up here, I feel really strong glute contraction in that right side. And then as I come back down, I definitely feel it starting to stretch. And then I feel the muscles of my adductors start to turn on, kind of to balance here. Okay, so we're gonna twist ourselves up for 7. And back down. Is this move making sense to you guys or no? Yeah? No?
So for me, I feel it all in my rib cage, or mostly in my rib cage.
Okay, so that means that the hips are not really doing too much, so you're holding on to that tension through the rib cage. So get into that position again. So we'll get into this starting position. And then what I want you to do is kind of shift your weight backwards just a little bit, and see if you can push some of that pressure into the hips. And then once you're in that position, you want to be almost like, think about, instead of just think about rotating, think also about like lifting up the hips here. So you're kind of lifting your body up and away from the floor and getting that glute to rotate. And if you still just feel it in the ribs, just keep doing the reps over and over again. And hopefully just keep thinking about, like how we talked about before with intention, just keep thinking about, okay, I want to be squeezing the glutes on this, squeeze the glutes. And so just keep thinking about it. Also, like we were saying last time, touching the area that you want to turn on will also really help. So for some people, they might get this right away. Some people will definitely take a few sets to start feeling it where you want to feel it, which is definitely okay. But make sure, I'm glad you were telling me that. We don't want to necessarily just feel it in the ribs. We really want to feel it mostly in the glutes. Okay, so you're going to have to play around with your body positioning to get it just right. All right, so let's try some on the other side. So we're going to be standing on our left leg. All right, so we're going to twist up. And twist back down. So right in the rib cage and right in the abdomen, there are the oblique muscle groups here, which are diagonal, or they're rotary muscles. So they do turn and twist the body. So you're not too far off by saying that area is tight. It's definitely an accessory muscle to this move that we want to do, but you really want to feel it primarily through the glutes and through the hamstrings and through anything really in the hip complex. All right, when you get really good at this move, nice and smooth, it just, I don't know, it just feels good. It feels really good to be able to rotate off of just that one hip and feel like you're in control of that range of motion right there. All right, so think about everything in the backside pulling together to open up the hips in that sideways manner. And there's 6. I got 4 more. So another thing I forgot to mention is your bottom leg should be an external rotation. Okay, so your foot shouldn't be flat on the floor. It should be up in an arch. And so you're twisting your knee, what's that? Counterclockwise on the left side. So you're twisting it outwards, like you got external rotation as you're lifting those hips up. And that's really gonna lock in those glutes right there. Come up, down. We got one more time here. Twist up and come back down. All right, good. So for those of you guys doing it later, if that move is very challenging for you, or if you felt it in a lot of other places, or if you've noticed your lower back hurting a lot on deadlifts or kettlebell swings, maybe your hip rotation is not necessarily where it needs to be. So this is a really good way of practicing that. So people who have constant low back pain after any plyometrics lower body, like maybe jumping, box jumping or burpees or kettlebell swings, if you just feel a lot of tension through the back or the middle part of the body here, could be that those hip rotators are not really firing as well. So that would be a good move for you guys to practice if that speaks to you. All right, so we're gonna just keep on rolling here. So we're moving into our next move, which is we're gonna be in a headstand position, okay? So if you want a pillow or a t-shirt or something to put underneath your head, you can. I usually just clasp my fingers like this, and I kind of stick my head right in the crown of my head right in the hand. All right, so I'm gonna start in this position here, tuck my toes under, and then all I'm gonna try to do is lock out the legs and try to put the hips right on top of the body, and then I'm gonna come back down through here. Okay, so it's gonna be a really good stretch of the back and through the hips. All right, so we're starting in this all-four position here. Get your head down on the ground in your hands. Okay, and so you're thinking about driving your elbows into the floor, so you're lifting your head out of your shoulders. All right, and then you're going to, on the exhale, so breathe in deep. On the exhale, you're going to try to straighten those legs so that the hips track right over top of the shoulders. And then we're going to drop them back down to the floor here. All right, let's see what that looks like. Track those hips straight over the shoulders and then come down to the floor. Okay, so there's 2. I'm gonna do 10. Breathe in, exhale, and then come back down. For those of you guys who have it in your practice, if you want to do a little floating foot, that's fine too. Come back down. Really use the muscles of the back and the core to be lifting those hips up into place. All right, and then we're really trying to just stretch out the back. Stretch out the back of the legs here. So there's 6, 7, 8. Again, don't forget to push and lift with the shoulders here, because you don't want to cram the neck down here. So as I'm going up, I'm lifting the body away from the neck. 8. 2 more. Breathe in And exhale, lift those legs up. Last one, breathe in. And exhale. If you want, see if you can go and do a full headstand from here. If you can, if that's part of your practice. If not, don't worry about it. And then we'll come back down. Nice and slow. Okay, awesome. Back and hips should be feeling good at this point. So we're going to work our way up. So we loosen up the hamstrings, hips, back. Now we're going to get some shoulder blade, scapula, shoulder blade positioning. So we're going to start doing it from a seated position, and then we're going to do it from a Superman position. All right. So what I want you to do is have your hands sit in a comfortable position, however you want. You're going to have your hands up like this, like I got a gun on you. Freeze. Now everyone goes like this. Okay, so I want your hands to be right over your elbow. Okay, so they should be, if I looked at you from the side, it should be here. Okay, so no like this or no over like this. So you want to be kind of very linear like this. So my elbows in line with my hips. All right, hands here. So what we're going to do from this position is keeping an emphasis on reaching the wrists backwards. So we got external rotation. The arms are going to drive up from here. The hands are going to go behind the back and see how far down they can go without touching your back. Okay, so I'm still behind my back here. And then I'm going to come back into the overhead position. And then I'm going to come back to this down position here. All right, so I'll show you from the back. So we're going up here. And then I'm reaching back and going down the back of the body. And then I'm going to reach up. And then come back down here. Okay. So let's keep doing that here. Actually, we're not going to do this from the Superman position because this is challenging as it is. So we're just going to do this from the seated position. All right. We're going to do a lot. We're going to do 15 of these. Okay. So do them a little quickly. All right. So you're going to get a lot of lift through the chest on this move, especially as you're reaching down here. Okay, so really be strong through the core and the hips. So squeeze the lower part of the body here, and then let everything up here really expand and extend. All right, so let's do 15, nice and quick. So we're gonna reach up, reach behind the head, really stick that chest out and reach as far down as you can. Lift the elbows high as the hands go down. Okay, almost like you're doing a big stretch. And then you're going to reach the arms up and come back down. So that's one. That's another key thing I forgot to mention. So reach up. As the hands go down, keep the elbows high. Okay? And then you're going to reach back up and back down. And you'll feel a huge stretch through here. There's two. Reach, elbows high, hands go behind the head. Come back up and down. So I kind of, as I go behind my head, I put them in the prayer position like this as I'm reaching behind my head. So we can do that. So up, go into that prayer position, put them together, elbows high, come back up and down. There's 4. Breathe in on the way up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Breathe in. Down. Up. And down. There's 7. Breathe in, up. And down. Up. There's 9 or 8. There's 9. Definitely already feeling that burn in my shoulders. We go up, behind the head, reach down the body, lift those elbows, stick your chest out, feel it in the back. There's 10. We got 5 more. We got this. Let's go. Push through the burn. I'm burning too. There's 11. And back down. Breathe in, up. Really feel your shoulders getting looser and looser as you're doing this, okay? Your whole body should feel like it's understanding the move a little bit better. So any clicks that you have been feeling in the first move should be starting to grease themselves out. You should feel like at this point, since we're on number 13, we got 2 more, you should feel like the whole body understands what we're trying to do at this point. Reach up and back down. Last one. Reach up and then really lift those elbows, reach down the body, come back up and down. Awesome. All right, a lot of good stretching through trying to get the posterior chain activated today. All right, so we were talking before, a lot of the complaints were tight lower back, tight quads, tight pecs. Okay, so we can stretch those. That's one way of loosening them, but also engaging the opposite muscles, engaging the posterior is really going to help loosen those muscles. Okay, so we need our chair again. All right, it's because we're doing a shoulder stretch here. So you're going to need your chair, and we're going to be in this kneeling position here. Okay. All right, so we're going to be in this kneeling position. Go ahead and get set up here. I'll take a little sip of coffee. Let's wait till we get set up. All right. So we're going to start in kind of a upright position. And you're holding on to the chair, just kind of as like an anchoring point. And then we're trying to lean back away from the chair and get a really good stretch underneath here. Okay. So you're definitely going to have to play around with how far your knees are to the chair or from the chair, how far they are closer away from the chair. Because we want to be able to be in kind of like almost a seated position, but you're really feeling that stretch underneath the shoulders. All right, so your hands are going to want to pull the chair to you, but you want to be reaching your arms away. Okay. So I'm reaching my hips back, I'm reaching my hands away. And then once we're in this position, we're going to do some twists, okay? So once you're in that final position, we're going to breathe in deep and then rotate towards your left. You're not going to get a lot of movement, but you're going to feel a lot of stretch through that right side. So you breathe in back to the middle. Exhale, you're twisting to the left. And twist as hard as you can. And you should feel a huge stretch and pull down that left side. Inhale to the middle. Exhale towards the right. Inhale middle. Exhale left. Inhale middle. Exhale right. Okay, so as you're turning, I want your shoulders in external rotation. Okay, so almost like you're gripping the chair like this, and you're trying to break it outwards here. So what that's going to do is put the shoulders from, so here's internal rotation. We want to be in external rotation here. So once you have your grip, you're externally rotating as we're twisting. So we're looking left, inhaling, looking right. Inhale, exhale left. Inhale middle, exhale right or left. Inhale middle, exhale right. We'll do 2 more on each side. And again, you should feel your body starting to turn a little bit more with each exhale. Breathe in, exhale right. 2 more, so 1 more each side. Exhale left. Breathe in, exhale right. Awesome. Go ahead and come up out of that one nice and slowly. Definitely a lot of weird twisting pressure in the shoulders going on there. Side bends from Neil. Oh, okay. All right, so we got a couple more stretches to do. We're gonna do 2 more stretches and call it a day. All right, first one we're gonna do is from a kneeling position. So just kind of tune in, check in with your body. So right now I feel pretty rejuvenated actually through the shoulders. I feel very loose. Like I feel like I just have a lot of movement opportunity right here because we got a lot of twists going on in the hips. We elongated the back with that headstand move, and we just got a lot of twisting going on in the scapula. So I'm feeling good. All right, so hopefully you guys are feeling good too. Ready to do some side bending. All right, so from this kneeling position here, and again, what's the word? A way of making this move a little bit easier. Regression. The regression of this move, sitting here, again, we figured out is just tucking the toes under here. Or what you can do is stick a pillow under the knees here, if that makes it a little more comfortable. All right, so we're gonna see how loose our side body is from here, all right? So take a couple breaths, maybe 1 or 2 breaths, kind of orient your body here. And then what we're gonna do is kind of like that song, I'm a little teapot, tip me over and pour me out. That's what we're gonna try to do. So I'm gonna try to lean to the side and just take your time with it and see how your body reacts. So right now, both of my legs are rotating towards the right as my body leans to the left. Okay, to give me a little bit of counterbalance here. All right, and I don't want to just fall to this side. I want to think about shortening this side and expanding this side. So just falling kind of looks like this, where I'm like off balance. But if I think about shortening and expanding, I can really get a lot of compression off to the side, and it gives me a lot more stability and a lot more ability to kind of lean off to the side. So I want to see if you can get your elbow on the ground here, okay? That's the goal. And if not, just kind of use your hand. You can kind of use your hand as a guidance point here. All right, and then if you really want even more, think about just slowly reaching this arm out to the side as far as you can here. Okay, so again, you have a lot of contraction here, and you're lifting and breathing into this upper part of the ribs here. All right, so I just want to see how far you can bend here. And if you do have your elbow on the ground, it gives you an advantage because you can drive the elbow away from the body. And what it's going to do is actually help get a really big lift through here. So if your hand is on the ground, if your elbow's on the ground, push it into the body, allow your side to squeeze, and then really lift the side of the body. Take a deep breath here. Okay, bring that arm in nice and slow. This is going to be really weird to try to come up from this. So come up nice and slow. Whew, that's always a little interesting to come up from something like that. All right, so we're going to go to the other side. So again, this is a very, very slow moving repetition because it takes a while to get into that position. It's a very challenging position to get in. So I'm going to kind of start to lean. So again, my hips are now twisting towards the left. I can feel both of my legs kind of rotating this way to give me some balance. And so now I'm going to start to squeeze this side here, really open up this side. I definitely don't think I'm as good bending this way, so this might be a little challenging. So definitely, like I said, ease your way into it. See if you can get positioning. See if you can get that hand or even that elbow on the floor. And then see if we can get this arm to straighten. So go very slowly. If you need to close your eyes, close your eyes. Maybe that will help give you a little bit more alignment with your body. Maybe you want to watch your video on your screen and just kind of check yourself out and see if your position is where you want it to be. But be very focused in this move here because this is a very interesting move. We don't really hang out in the side bend like this very often. So your brain is a little bit confused and it wants to tighten up your whole body. Okay, because it feels like you're hurting yourself. It feels like, oh my God, you're gonna break our spine. But you can overcome that feeling through consciousness, like thinking about, okay, I'm safe in this position. We're gonna start to get up here. And by just breathing, okay, that's teaching your brain, that's lowering your nervous system response. And that's kind of just saying, I am in control, I am in charge, and I'm not gonna break. All right, so let's do not quite as long, but just one more time to each side. Okay, so it should be a little bit easier to get into this position again. All right, so notice I'm really just falling right into it on this side. Okay, so still got a little bit of that mobility from the first time I did this side. I'm gonna reach in here. And so if this move is really challenging for you guys, I would strongly recommend looking into some side body stretching. Like maybe you can Google or YouTube like a side body openers or something like that, because allowing yourself the ability to bend laterally, most of our movement, we have a lot of capability and we're very strong at bending this way and staying upright and twisting this way. But we really don't do a lot of this lateral bending here. So I'm gonna do one more towards the right. So if you guys can really start to unlock and understand this side body movement here, you'll give yourself a lot more movement options. And things like the handstand, the clean and jerk, even like pull-ups, really all of these movements, you'll start to feel you can do them a little bit cleaner because you have access to more parts of your body by learning how to bend and tip from the side to the side. All right, very good. So the last thing we're gonna do is just a stretch. I don't remember if we did this one before or not, but we're gonna start in a 90-90 position, just like this. All right. So 90-90, it's called 90-90 because your front leg is in 90 degrees here. Not necessarily 90, and my back leg is in a 90-degree position here. Okay, so that's an easy stretch to remember because it kind of looks like both of your legs are in this 90-degree bend here. All right, so that's why we call that one 90-90. From this position, oh, hold on, let me move my chair. Again, this is another side body opener. So I'm going to kind of do something similar to what we just did. And I'm going to start to lean towards, so if my right leg's forward, so I'm leaning towards my right. If your left leg's forward, you're leaning towards your left. And think about a clock, okay? So straight in front of you is 12 o'clock. So then I'm at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock is where I'm perpendicular to my body now. And just see what hour you can get to. Okay, so here's 4. And see if you can get all the way around to maybe that 5 or that 6 o'clock position. Okay, keeping your legs where they are. So you got your hips stabilized. And we're just kind of seeing how far we can rotate. Once you're in that final position, we're just going to stay here and rest for about 30 or 45 seconds. All right, so wiggle your way in and out if that position if you need to. But just give yourself some undivided attention. All right, so you're tuning into your body. And you're just figuring out, okay, what's tight? What can I loosen? What can I strengthen? Focus on your breathing. And just kind of take note and say, oh, okay, well, my knee hurts in this position. So, maybe I got to do some foam rolling later, or my back hurts. So maybe I got to stretch a little bit more after this class or something like that. Okay, so we're going to slowly walk ourselves back. And I say slowly because when you put your body in that level of twist, because it takes so much energy to get into that position to just unwind very quickly, I imagine it as like a diver coming up too soon and how your body just is unprepared to transition back into a normal position after something like that. So whenever you're in a very deep stretch where you're like twisting your whole body, make sure it's slow and make sure you come out of it slow as well. So the last one we're going to do is just this one towards the left. So you start in the middle and kind of working my way around that clock. All right, see if you can. I'm trying to put my left elbow on the ground here. And then maybe one day I'll be able to get this elbow on the floor. Definitely not today. So right now I feel a big stretch through the quad of this right leg. I definitely feel a lot going on through the hips, through the core here. I'm feeling my lat definitely starting to engage to kind of help pull me into this twist. And so with my inhales, I'm thinking about elongating here. I'm elongating this part of the hip here. And I'm really trying to feel that stretch up through the right side of the ribs. Just do some deep breathing here. All right, and then we're gonna come back towards the middle. Again, very slowly. Okay, it's just gonna be a weird feeling to come out of something like that. So really ease your way back to the middle. And congratulate yourself because we are done.
Awesome,
All right.
Josh.
Very good. That is a ball buster. That one's gonna feel real good. Feel real good later on today. A lot of
How
twisting.
do you feel, Talia?
I feel good, but like I've known that my sides have been really tight, and I've been trying to stretch them. So this class, I mean, like especially on my left side, it is incredibly tight.
Yeah.
So those twists, like it feels like someone actually needs to take a knife to cut my muscle to make it just stretch a little bit more.
Yeah, I've been saying it a lot with a lot of even the mobility class that I teach and class in general, that we move our bodies too often in the same plane, and we do a lot of repetitive movements, especially being stuck at home, sitting down. We're shortening our muscles so much, you know, and restricting our joints, and our range of motion starts to go. And all these things are like critical, super critical to our health right now, and opening things up and getting into good posture. So I thought of you definitely for this class, that, you know, you definitely feel good afterwards. And
Well, you know, this one's my favorite, right, Jeff?
oh yeah.
But yeah, no, your body has a covering over all of your muscles called fascia. And what fascia does is it basically houses the muscles. It sends impulse to the muscles. And if it's not stretched and lengthened, it starts to like almost like solidify, like how concrete, if you just leave it for long enough, it'll solidify. So that's probably what you're feeling, is that fascia kind of solidifying. So the best way to get over that or to get past that would be to find, say you're doing that like a twist towards the one side, find a spot where you feel a good stretch, but you're not so challenged that you can't hold it, and then try to hold it for like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes and just breathe through it, because it takes about 3 to 5 minutes for that fascia to let go. It's like when you pull it, it like resists so much because it's trying to keep you in that position because it thinks that's what you're safe in. So it's trying to resist you pulling. But if you just outlast it through your breath and through time, and just so don't go to your absolute end range, go a little bit before your end range and just hang out there for like 5 minutes, and it's crazy. You'll feel like a distinct moment where you just feel everything just kind of start to melt away. It's one of the best feelings ever, but definitely take your time with it, and you should see a lot of improvement over the next couple of days if you do it on a daily basis.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
all right, Josh, thanks so much.
Of
I log
course.
off. So
All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Enjoy.
thank you.